The author of the book, Make Your Bed, Little Things That Can Change Your Life. And maybe the world was a United States Special Operations Commander and an experienced counterterrorism expert. Throughout his entire career in the Navy SEALs, he learned 10 lessons that are not only useful for life in the military, but for anyone who wants to change their life for the better and improve the lives of others no matter what they do. The first lesson is to start the day with a task completed. Making your bed perfectly is something expected of everyone who belongs to the military. It is the first task of the day, and completing it is a demonstration of discipline. It gives you the momentum to complete the next task, and then the next, and the next, leading to a productive day. It is a very simple task that will remind you that small things matter, because if you cannot do the small things well, you will never be able to do the big things you set out to accomplish. And if for some reason you have one of those long, exhausting days when you come home tired, at least you will come home to a made bed that will make you feel a little better. So, if you want to change the world, start by making your bed. The second lesson is that you cannot do it alone. During training to become a Navy SEAL, they formed teams to complete open water raft exercises. When one member of the group felt sick or could not give 100% for any reason, the others had to work much harder and paddle with greater force in order to meet the objectives set by the instructors. They worked as a true team with a shared goal. The author of the book suffered a serious accident while parachuting that left him confined to a bed for more than 2 months. However, he was able to recover and walk again thanks to his wife, who became his personal nurse, and thanks to his family and friends who visited him every day and reminded him that he could not give up. None of us is safe from tragic moments in life. But just like in the training raft, in life you also need a team of good people to reach your destination. You cannot paddle alone. Your success depends largely on the people around you. So if you want to change the world, find someone who will help you paddle. The third lesson is that only the size of your heart matters. Many times we do not give ourselves the chance to truly get to know someone, and instead we judge by appearances. For example, one day the author of the book went to the SEAL base before he was part of it to speak with a lieutenant about what the training was like. While waiting to be called, he saw another person in the waiting room who made him feel confident because he was skinny, without muscles, and short. He thought that if the others who wanted to begin training were like that person, he would have a great chance to stand out. When the lieutenant called him in, they spoke for a while, and then the lieutenant called the man who had been waiting in the hallway to introduce him. To his surprise, that man was already part of the military and was one of the most respected and toughest men there. He realized he was wrong and learned that what truly matters is not appearance, but the size of one's heart. People may tell you that you are not capable, but if your heart is big enough, you can do it. So if you want to change the world, measure people by the size of their heart. The fourth lesson is that life is not fair, so keep moving forward. The worst punishment trainees faced for failing a task during training was jumping into the ocean fully clothed, then rolling in the sand until completely covered, and continuing the day's training and tasks full of sand, no matter how uncomfortable it was. This punishment was called becoming a sugar cookie. Sometimes instructors chose someone to become a sugar cookie for no reason at all, and for many students this was hard to accept. They could do everything perfectly, and instead of being rewarded, they were turned into a sugar cookie. This was meant to teach them that life is not fair, and the sooner they understood that, the better they would do. It is easy to blame some external force for what happens in your life, and stop making an effort because you believe destiny is against you. It is easy to think that where you grew up, how your parents treated you, or the school you attended determines your future. Nothing could be further from the truth. Successful people are defined by how they deal with life's injustices. Sometimes, no matter how hard you try, no matter how good you are, you end up becoming a sugar cookie. So if you want to change the world, forget that you were a sugar cookie and move on with your life. The fifth lesson is that failure can make you stronger. If students fail to meet the standards of any training session during the day, their name was placed on a list called the circus. The circus consisted of 2 hours of extremely intense training at the end of the day. What made the circus so feared was not only the additional suffering, but the certainty that they would be so exhausted from the extra exercise that the next day they would also fail to meet the training standards, ending up on the circus list again and again. Those students who did not quit because of the circus improved greatly over time. They became faster and stronger thanks to it. It is impossible to avoid the circus. At some point, all of us will be on that list. You will have to pay for your failures. But if you do not give up, if you take failure as a lesson, it will make you stronger and better prepared to face the most difficult moments of your life. So if you want to change the world, do not fear the circus. The sixth lesson is to take big risks. One of the obstacles during training was descending from a 9-meter tower using a rope anchored to the ground. The safest way down was under the rope, feet first, but that was not the fastest way. Going over the rope, head first, was much faster but also more dangerous. A veteran told them that the obstacle course would always defeat them if they did not start taking risks. When someone finally dared to slide head first down the obstacle, he completed the course in record time. This taught them to overcome their fears and trust their ability to succeed. The possibility of failure is always present, but those who live in fear of failure, difficulty, or embarrassment will never reach their full potential. If you do not challenge your limits, if you do not go head first from time to time, if you do not take big risks, you will never know what you are truly capable of achieving in life. So if you want to change the world, go head first down the obstacle. The seventh lesson is to confront bullies. Students had to complete nighttime swims in freezing waters, knowing the waters were full of sharks. Not just any sharks, but great white sharks. Being alone at night in the middle of the ocean, knowing that beneath the surface lived a creature capable of tearing them in half with a single bite, created enormous anxiety. All bullies are the same, whether they are on a playground, in the workplace, or ruling a country through terror. They feed on fear and intimidation and test whether their victims are weak, like sharks sensing fear in the water. In life, to reach your goals and complete your own night swim, you must be a man or woman of great courage. That courage exists within all of us, but we must work to find it. So if you want to change the world, do not back down from the sharks. The eighth lesson is to rise to the occasion. One of the most dangerous training exercises was swimming 2 kilometers underwater from shore to a ship to plant a mine without being detected. Training took place at night and visibility was nearly zero. They could not see their hand even when it was inches from their mask. This exercise had a high risk of injury or drowning. The officer in charge gathered the students and told them, "Out there it is dark and cold. Under the ship it will be even darker. You may become disoriented. To complete the mission, you must be the best version of yourselves. You must overcome fear, doubt, and exhaustion. No matter the darkness or the difficulty, you must complete the mission. This is what sets you apart." At some point in life, we will all face dark moments. If it is not the death of a loved one, it will be something else that makes us doubt the future. If you want to change the world, be the best version of yourself in your darkest moments. The ninth lesson is to give people hope. During training, there was a week known as Hell Week, which consisted of 6 days without sleep, constant shouting from instructors, open water exercises, obstacle courses, and endless calisthenics. Hell Week was designed to eliminate the weak. The mud pits were the hardest part of the week. They were so thick that moving through them completely exhausted the students. One night, when the students were freezing, an instructor told them that if 5 people quit, the rest could leave the mud and drink coffee by a fire. One cadet began to walk out of the mud, but suddenly one student started singing. Then another joined, and soon everyone was singing. The cadet saw this and returned to the mud. If that person could sing with mud up to his neck, then everyone else could endure it too. At some point, each of us will find ourselves buried in mud up to our necks. That is the moment to sing at the top of your lungs, smile from ear to ear, lift up those around you, and give them hope that tomorrow will be better. So, if you want to change the world, start singing when the mud reaches your neck. The 10th lesson is to never, ever give up. On the first day of training, the instructor approached a bronze bell hanging in plain sight of all the recruits and said, "Today is the first day of training. Over the next 6 months, you will face the toughest program in the military. You will be tested like never before. Most of you will not make it, and I will do everything I can to make you quit. But if you do not like pain, there is a way to avoid it. To quit, all you have to do is ring this bell 3 times. Of all the lessons learned during training, this is the most important one. Never give up. Life constantly puts you in situations where quitting feels 1,000 times easier than moving forward. Situations where everything seems stacked against you and giving up feels like the logical choice. But if you give up, it will be something you regret for the rest of your life. Life is full of difficult moments, but there is always someone out there who has it worse. If you fill your days with self-pity, sadness, and blame toward others or your circumstances, your life will be long and very hard. But if you refuse to give up on your dreams and remain strong in the face of obstacles, life will become whatever you decide it to be. So if you want to change the world, never, ever ring that bell.